Ever since Gemini's official release on mobile platforms, news has been coming out on a near daily basis, highlighting a ton of new features, updates, and important changes that should affect every user, whether you're on mobile or the web version. Since there's been so much information in just the last month alone, I wanted to round up all the major Gemini news for the month of February into one simple to watch video. That way you guys can easily stay in the know as things constantly change in the AI world. And getting right into it, the Gemini app got a pretty big update this week that enabled access to Google Calendar events. This was a huge pain point for Android users looking to replace Google Assistant with Gemini and was one of the first items added to Google's Things to Fix ASAP list. With the implementation of Google Calendar events, users will be able to give the AI assistant commands like add a haircut appointment to my calendar, for example, where you can manually enter in the time and duration, or you can relay that via voice dictation. You can also say, show me my calendar events, or do I have any upcoming calendar events, where Gemini will show you a quick snapshot of your most recent entries. Google also added the ability to set reminders as well, which works in the same way. These reminders are integrated into Google Tasks, and you're able to give a handful of commands like open tasks, for example, where it will literally open the app so you can see the entire list. Or the show me my reminders command also works, where users will be shown their most recent tasks in an overlay while also reading them out loud to you. Continuing with Gemini's expansion into Google services, starting on February 21st, users will now be able to access a wide variety of Gemini-powered features in Gmail, Docs, and other workspace apps. Keep in mind, these new features are part of the Google One AI Premium package that will run you $20 a month, and with that, you'll get the Help Me Write function that can create bullet points, summarize, or change the tone of your writing in formal or casual formats. You'll get a new proofread feature that offers an AI power upgrade to the existing spell check capability. There's a new Create Images option for Google Slides where you can enter a prompt to get AI-generated photos for your project. Google Sheets has Gemini integration as well, where you can get help creating tables, answer questions about your Sheets document, or summarize content. And for Google Meet, you can now create AI-generated backgrounds alongside AI-powered lighting and sound enhancements. If you did want to check these features out for yourself, Google is offering a 2-month free trial, which I did get roped into, by the way, and have been lightly testing out the features. For the most part, all of the Gemini integration can be accessed via an icon in the top right corner, which I would say is pretty easy to find amongst all workspace apps, and I do appreciate the cohesive nature of this implementation. Google Chrome also got a new Gemini-powered feature in version 122 that brings the Help Me Write feature inside any text box and should be live on Mac, Windows, and Chromebook devices. To be clear, this is technically an experimental feature that you can find by updating your Chrome browser to the latest version, then head over to Settings and open the Experimental AI tab. From here, you can turn on the Help Me Write feature, but there are others like AI-generated themes and automatic tab organization if you're interested. Either way, once enabled, users can right-click on any text box where they should see a new Help Me Write tab, and clicking on that will open a smaller window where you can start typing in your desired text. This function is really helpful since you can easily access the feature without having to leave the page you're working on, and Help Me Write for Chrome can provide in-context suggestions. So if you're working on an online review for sneakers, for example, Gemini will be able to scan the web page and pull out relevant keywords. You can also use the tool to simply help refine your writing with options to adjust length, tone, or regenerate the sentence altogether. So, in terms of new Gemini-related features, this is everything that became publicly available in the month of February, but we also got a ton of news updates rumors about what we can expect in the near future. The first big piece of news is the announcement of Gemini 1.5 that's supposed to be more powerful and more efficient than the Gemini 1.0 version launched in December. On paper, 1.5 will be able to process massive amounts of data, up to 128,000 tokens. To put it into perspective, that means Gemini 1.5 can analyze, classify, or summarize content with over 700,000 words, code bases with over 30,000 lines of code, 11 hours of audio, or 1 hour of video, which is significantly more than Gemini 1.0, which tops out at around 32,000 tokens. Gemini 1.5 is also capable of more relevant problem-solving tasks across longer blocks of code and has in-context learning skills, meaning it can learn a new skill from the information given to it in a long prompt. Overall, Gemini 1.5 outperforms the 1.0 version by 87% according to benchmarks and performs at a broadly similar level to 1.0 Ultra. As of right now, it is in a limited preview with certain developers and enterprise customers, but will be available in its own pricing tier at the 128,000 token mark and will scale up to 1 million tokens as things improve. This next one we did talk about earlier in the week, so I will be brief, but starting this week, a small selection of users enrolled in the Google Messages beta will be able to chat directly with Gemini inside the Google Messages app. As mentioned in my previous video, you'll be able to ask questions, access image generation, use it to brainstorm ideas, or help you draft messages. Something I didn't talk about though was availability, but if you take a peek at the Google support page, the Pixel 6 and up are supported, alongside the Pixel Fold, S22 series and up, as well as the Z Flip and Z Fold series. From what we can see, Gemini inside Google Messages will launch with English support first in over 165 countries. At this time, I am enrolled in the beta, but still didn't get the feature yet, but once I do, you'll be the first to know. Another big story for Gemini this month, it does appear we may see some expansion to Google Assistant enabled headphones. In mid-February, we were able to decompile the latest Google app beta APK files where a segment of text was spotted stating, quote, Gemini mobile app is working on expanding availability to make it accessible on your headphones, unquote. Based on all the news we've seen so far, this is the most concrete sign of Gemini expanding to other devices. Right now, even with Gemini installed on your phone, the Pixel Buds will use the Google Assistant commands to communicate, and there is no option to even try an alternative. If Gemini does come out to headphones, it will be interesting to see how the AI-powered responses translate to an audio-only format, although we are hoping for the ability to adjust playback speed amongst other tweaks for audio-only devices. And last but not least, we did get some official details regarding fixes to Google's image generation portion of the Gemini experience. As many Twitter users pointed out, prompts that asked Gemini to generate images of Australian, American, British, and German people would all result in images of people with darker skin tones. And an even bigger issue was Gemini struggling to depict human beings in a historical context accurately. Naturally, this has gotten a lot of media attention to the point where Google pulled the image generation, at least for people, and has released multiple statements. For the sake of this video, I'll reference the most recent public-facing response from a blog on Google's website stating, quote, our tuning to ensure Gemini showed a range of people failed to account for the cases that it clearly should not show a range. And they also said, quote, the model has become way more cautious than intended and refused to answer certain prompts entirely or wrongly interpreting some very anodyne prompts as sensitive. Google clearly states we did not want Gemini to refuse to create images of any particular group, and we did not want it to create inaccurate historical images. Again, these are just statements from Google that stuck out to me in terms of how they intended to fix this, so we'll just have to wait and see once the image generation tool gets re-released. And guys, I know that was a lot, but this is every major update and piece of news we've heard from Gemini in the last month. Like I said, there were so many stories to cover, so I hope this video was useful in getting you all the information in one easy to access format. For those actually using Gemini on a daily basis, what are your thoughts on the upcoming changes? Do you think Google will be able to fix these in a timely manner? And for those looking towards the future, what features are missing that would make Gemini more helpful? Leave a comment and let me know, but in the meantime, I'm getting out of here. This has been Jordan Floyd with 9to5 Google. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.